Hey, this is Tyler Basu, and welcome to Teach Online TV, where we feature different experts, online course creators to help you with creating and marketing your online courses. Now, today I have the pleasure of speaking with Kathryn Hocking, and she is known as the eCourse secret weapon. She's been creating, designing, launching courses for several years, online courses, digital programs, mastermind groups, all kinds of cool things, and she's helped a lot of other people launch their courses as well. So, Kathryn, thank you so much for taking the time to share your insights with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, I know I very quickly introduced you there, but if you could just tell us how you got into this space. I mean, take us back to, when you created your first course and, what made you jump into this world full time, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny and long story with twists and turns. I didn't set out and go, yes, I'm going to teach people how to create online courses. I had been in the corporate world for 10 years. I realized that I didn't want to wake up in another 10 years and still be doing work that really wasn't stuff that lit me up and wasn't, my passion work. So I set out to think about the types of things I could do. And I knew that the things I wanted was that I could work from home, that I could replace my six-figure income that I had in the corporate world and just do stuff that I enjoyed, get to be more creative and that sort of thing. So I looked around a heap of different things, looked at different university courses, and ultimately I decided to study life coaching, which was really funny because just as I was graduating university, I saw this flyer about life coaching, but I was like, oh no, I can't do that. I've just done a 4-year degree. I have to go and, do something
with the degree.
With this degree, right? But I'd seen it and thought, wow, that would be really cool. So anyway, 10 years later, I come across life coaching again. So I signed up, I set up a business, and I actually started out as a return to work coach. So I wanted to help women after they've had children and been on maternity leave, negotiating, returning to work and just managing the juggle that is that. Mm-hmm. But I didn't attract any clients, not a single one. But I did start getting mums in business, or mumpreneurs as they're often called, contact me and ask me to help coach them in their business. So I started coaching mums in business, and really it took off when I started creating some information products to go along with the coaching, because coaching was really very new, even 5 years ago in Australia. But as I started creating products and stuff that would go along with it, it seemed to make it just something that they could understand better, and they felt they were getting something else with the coaching. So then one day walking along the beach, I realized that e-courses would be perfect for mums because they don't have a lot of time. They can't always meet set times for things. They don't always have a lot of money. And I thought delivering the same information but in an e-course would be really great for this market. So I created my first e-course, which was called Mumpreneur Maven at the time, which was a business, really a course for mums that had started a business but didn't really know about business and what to do. That was really successful, and then I went on to create a number of other e-courses for mums in business. And then they started saying to me, well, can't you teach us how to create e-courses? We want to create them for our own businesses. And at the time I thought, oh, okay, no worries. I didn't really think it was going to be anything. Mm-hmm. So I just went and created another e-course, and it just took off. From the first time I launched it, it was my most successful program. And I very quickly realized that I needed to focus in this area because there was so much demand for it. And I actually come from a training background. So I am a qualified trainer as well, and was a corporate trainer in my previous working life. So it's a really good fit for the skills and experience that I already had.
Yeah, it sounds like you found that sweet spot, and you were able to marry, those skills, those passions, that expertise with your clients who are now asking you to help them.
Yeah.
In those areas.
Yeah. I mean, there's some of the best ideas too, when people actually come to you and ask for things like listen to those things, because often they are the great ideas that really take off.
Yeah. So have you shifted then to, are you still offering the one-on-one coaching, or have you shifted to all courses and all like group coaching or mastermind type of a model now?
I really don't offer any just one-off, one-on-one coaching sessions. Very occasionally, if someone emails me and I really feel like there's a really strong fit for us, I might take them on as a private client, but I have very little room in my books these days for those. So I have, I think, I'm just trying to count them out. I've currently got 3 online programs plus my mastermind that I run. So basically I have a program called the eCourse Idea Generator, which is a totally passive revenue stream, I guess. I'm not really involved in that once people purchase it. That's just helping them find out what their eCourse idea should be. Then I have the eCourse Launch Formula, which is my flagship program. Very active in that forum and supporting that community. I've just recently launched a new program called Launch Mastery, which is really for people that want to take their launching to the next level. And then I also have the Ultimate eCourse Mastermind, which is really for people that are really serious about making serious money from eCourses, and they're ready to invest a year of their life and a decent sum of money into working with me to really have that revenue stream take off for them in their business.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for that overview. So I'd like to dive in your process for creating a course, because you've created a number of courses over the years, and so you've gone through this process many times, and you've created the shorter ones, those flagship programs, and then the longer programs with the mastermind component as a part of it. So you've got like a template, you've got this down now. You've got like
yeah, I think I've created about 10 or 11 products in 5 years, maybe more than that. So yeah, I've done it a lot.
So going back to when you created your first course, what was your process like the first time? And then if you could walk us through some of the things you've learned since then, or how your process has changed since then, and how you would advise somebody who's just getting started today to go through those steps of picking their idea and then outlining their content and creating the course and so on.
Yeah, look, my process was very simple the first time. When I look back on the way that I used to create and launch programs, I could go from idea to launching in like a week, even a weekend, because my process was so simple. And there's some really big benefits about that stage of your business, where you're at a point where you can DIY a lot of things, or you have to DIY a lot of things, because the plus side of that is that you can get traction and make progress very, very quickly. I'm now at a stage of my business where virtually everything I create has to go through a major branding process, copywriting, everything is at a really high level. So it takes me much longer. I can't move as quickly in the market. So when I started out, it was really about just identifying an area where there was a need. So I think like one tip is do some work with clients first. I think you sort of need that insight to know what people want and what people need. However, there are other ways to get around it. You can send out surveys to your list or to your community, and they can be really, really helpful as well. So when I was creating Launch Mastery, I felt there was a need for it, but I wanted to know exactly what people wanted covered in that program so that I could really meet their needs, and that was super useful. So I guess that's one tip when you're starting out is either take the work from you've done with one-on-one clients, or the survey sort of model where you're collecting that key information. So in the early days, I would go from either having that knowledge from my clients, or I would send a survey out. I would then very quickly go into design. So I would really just do things like mind mapping, brain dumps, just getting it all out, and then trying to sort things into obvious categories, and then work them into modules. So what makes sense, what flow made sense, what content made sense to put where. So I would do this process really quite quickly. I would then generally launch my sales page before I'd written any of the content. Not everyone is comfortable with this. Being a trainer and a course writer in my previous corporate life, I know I can go from an outline to the content without a problem. Not everyone is comfortable with this. But the benefit of it is that you can test the idea before you spend all of this time writing the content. So what is my preferred model? So I would then generally write my sales page. I wrote all my own sales pages in the early days. When I look back, none of them are still live, but, you know, I remember what they looked like. They were so basic, no pretty graphics, you know, just like plain text, just my words. And I'm not the most amazing writer, but, you know, they connected with my audience. I think I had a list of 140 people for my first eCourse launch, and I sold 28 spots. That's like 20% conversion.
Yeah, that's good.
Which is sort of unheard of these days to get that sort of conversion, but small lists can still convert really well. So I would get the sales page up. I would then start promoting it. As I would start to see the sales coming in, then I'm like, okay, I need to write some content. So then I would go into my content phase. My courses are normally a mixture of workbooks, worksheets and templates, and also videos for people. That's just my preferred way of delivery. There's lots of different ways you can deliver the content. And again, my launches in the early days was super, super simple. Just email marketing, a little bit of social media back when you could actually get decent reach in social media without paying for it. I didn't do webinars. I didn't have fancy challenges or video series or anything like that. So you can get started without having all the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
So what's changed these days? As I say, my business is at a point now where I'm sort of a $500,000 business tracking to $1 million business. I have a certain level of professionalism and branding in my business that I can't just act super, super quickly. Generally, I did actually release a workshop this week that I did do myself, but I generally can't just whip things out anymore. So for me, it's a process of going through quite a detailed viability assessment, surveying my tribe, designing it, and going through full branding processes with my amazing web designer, and then getting my copywriter in to help me with the copy. And, you know, there's this whole lengthy process actually coming up with a full launch strategy that will often include video series or challenges or scholarship programs or, you know, a series of webinars, a whole lot of different things. So it's a much longer process for me these days. But I say to all of my clients, I didn't start like this. You don't have to start like this. This is sort of 5 years in where I'm at.
Yeah, that's a really important point. So at this point, you have, you know, a lot of moving parts. You've got team members, you've got a lot of experience, more resources than you had before as well to invest in creating and marketing the courses. But, you know, like all entrepreneurs, you did not start where you are today. You started with what you had at the time, and you made it work. So just to recap, like the first time you created the course, you actually sold it before having all of the content ready. So you created a page. What
I generally like to do is once the sales page is up, I will start writing the first few modules, because I don't ever want to be at a point where the course is going live and I haven't got the first few modules. Yeah. So my method is sort of a hybrid. It's not quite don't write anything until it's sold, and it's not all written before I go. It's sort of hybrid where I've got at least the first few modules written. Then once I know it's selling, I know it's going to go ahead, then I start writing the other modules.
Now, have you ever found that after enrolling students in the course where you had like the first module or two created, and you had initially presented them with that outline, have you ever found that based on their feedback or their questions, you ended up changing some of the content that you created for them later in the course? Like, did the outline change at all from what you initially thought it would be?
Not normally in the initial round, but a really good example is eCourse Launch Formula. It started as a 5-module program. Mm-hmm. A year or so later, it was a 7-module program. It's now an 11-module program. So there's definitely been, as my experience has grown, as my understanding has grown over the years, it has expanded and developed. And the feedback I've had from my community, often the things that they suggest end up being bonuses, in the next round. So there's always evolution. This is another thing. A lot of people really struggle with the perfectionism side of things. I really encourage my people just to get it out there, get a first round done, get that feedback, and you can review and improve it with every round that goes through. Of course, I used to go to the opposite end where I was reviewing my content way too frequently. So now I have pulled myself back on that a bit. But I really just think just get it out there, see how people respond, and improve it for the next round.
Great point. Great point. So, Kathryn, I wanted to bring up the topic of masterminds because this is a part of your business model. You're not just creating the courses that people can go through and just get the information. Like you've got a community component in your business model as well. So, when did adding that begin to make sense for you, or at what point did you realize that was something you wanted to add to the business model? And then how would somebody else know if this is something that they should do as well?
Yeah. Okay. So, I've been launching for 5 years, probably about 2.5 years in. I was like, okay, launching is great. It's great to have these big bursts of money, but it would also be really nice to have a more regular revenue stream as well. So that was one of the things. I was just like, life could just be just that bit easier, that bit more stable if it was an amount that you could actually rely on each month, kind of like your salary when you worked in corporate.
Right.
So that came to me. And then my daughter was actually, my second daughter was really sick in hospital at 8 weeks old. And I was in this horrible hospital bed overnight worrying about her. And ridiculously, the idea for the Mastermind came to me then. And I just had this moment where I thought to myself, people want what I have, but it's so much more than just creating the eCourse. Like, to actually build a sustainable eCourse business, there's so much more to that. But people do want that, and they want what I have. So I grabbed out like a notebook or something I had with me in the hospital. And I just started writing down all of these topic ideas for this new program. And so it really started from that just little seed of an idea. I got onto my existing group, my existing eCourse launch formula group, and I said to them, I've had this idea for a mastermind. You'll get some one-on-one time with me. You'll get some live events. You'll get some advanced content. Like, is anyone interested in this? And there was really good response to it. So I thought, okay, this idea has legs, but I want some more information. I want to make sure that I pitch it at the right level, that the pricing is right. So then I did a survey to a group and asked them some really specific questions about where would they want the events, how many events would they want, what sort of price point would they be willing to pay for what they've just told me that they want, did they want content in it? Did they want group calls in it? So I really did a survey to find out exactly what they wanted. Now, of course, as the creator, I had to then use my own brain of what I know would work and would help people and pair that with what they said they wanted. It's not always about giving people exactly what they say they want. Sometimes you need to take the leadership role of going, well, I actually know you need this.
Right.
Or I know this is how you're going to best get the results. So it was about really merging those two things. But yeah, I really sort of knew I had something that had legs at this point. And then, as I said, I went through this, my normal big process of branding and copywriting and everything. It was scary because this was the first time I'd ever decided to go pro right from the very beginning of a product. So I had no absolute certainty it was going to sell, but I invested in professional branding, professional sales page, and professional copywriting for that sales page up front. Wasn't it really a huge sum of money? Maybe it was $2,000 or $3,000, but that still feels like a lot when you're not sure if you're even going to sell it.
Right.
I've never asked anyone to pay me this much money before for anything. So there were lots of fears and blocks that came up around that, but I did it, and I filled the group. And I'm now going into my third round of enrollments for this mastermind program, and it's amazing. It's a fantastic revenue stream. I love the work. And the other thing is, I think it's really important to stay in touch with people and I think once your business starts going well, sometimes you can lose touch. Like, if you're a weight loss coach and you've kept the weight off for 5 years, you might sort of lose touch of what it's really like for people. Or like me, I've got e-courses that do really well now, but if I'm not really working with people that are still at those early stages, struggling in a more intensive way, I can sort of forget what it was like as well. So I think masterminds are great from that perspective for you and your business as well. So in terms of when to know if it's a good thing for you to do, I think generally it's not a great idea to jump straight into masterminds. I actually think masterminds work best when you have an established tribe and you have also an established e-course or e-program that has done quite well and they want more from you. I have a client that I've been working with this year, Danielle Omar, and she's got a program called Nourish. It's a 21-day sort of clean eating challenge. So she runs it 4 times a year. And she came to me this year in the mastermind. She said, I want to do the next level program. I want to do something, that people sign up for the whole year, and really it takes them to the next level. So we designed it together. We designed some coaching in there for them. And again, she had that fear of would it sell or would it not? And she's totally exceeded. We were laughing about it in San Francisco a few weeks ago because she offered one-on-one coaching and she's had 60 people sign up or something. I'm like, you need to coach 60 people now.
Yeah.
It's funny because it went really, really well. But she had an established tribe, an established program that people really loved. So I think that is one of the keys to doing it successfully.
And you mentioned earlier that part of the reason and one of the biggest benefits of doing the mastermind was it suddenly gives you recurring revenue. You had done launches before, and as you know from doing those launches where you charge a one-time fee for your course, when the launch is over, all of a sudden revenue dips, right? And you got to launch again or promote it again. So you go through these cycles of lots of money coming in and then not so much, then lots and then not so much.
Yeah.
But with the mastermind or with even, membership websites or, recurring subscription courses, you've got that every month, you've got that dependable income coming in, and your focus just becomes on keeping those students, keeping them engaged, continuing to add value to them. So what would you say are some of the challenges or the concerns of running a membership site or a mastermind program that you didn't quite get with, the previous model of just the one-time purchases? What are some of the unique challenges to consider with this, with the recurring model?
Well, for most people, unless you're pitching a very high level mastermind, they're not going to be able to pay the full fee up front. Right. So you're normally having to do payment plans over the year. So they pay a deposit, which is really important because I have to pay for venues and stuff like that up front. Then they pay a monthly recurring fee. The issue there then becomes retention, the same way with membership programs as well. I do feel what I like about masterminds is I feel they're a little bit more secure than a membership program. A membership program, normally you can leave at any time. So you have to work really hard on that retention. With the mastermind, you're generally saying to people, this is a contract. You either have a certain notice period or, once they've signed up, they have to stay in. So I do feel that masterminds are a little bit more secure than membership sites in terms of that recurring revenue. They can also be more higher amounts, so you don't have to support as many people. That said, probably overall, if you have a big list and big traffic, maybe you could make more from a membership than a mastermind. So they're both good options. I prefer the mastermind model. But that said, you still have to really be focusing on the experience, making sure that you're offering an amazing experience to people through the mastermind, because they are normally paying quite a lot of money to be in it each month and to work with you and to attend your events and that sort of stuff. So this has to be a really high level focus on service and the experience and that sort of thing to, keep your masterminders happy.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And you bring up a good point with membership sites. And I think part of the reason is, with the retention struggle is the pricing. I mean, I've been a part of many different membership sites and online courses that charge me monthly. And it's, usually between like $40 to $100. It's not usually a huge amount, but it's enough that if I'm not constantly engaged, I don't want to keep seeing my card get charged every month. So I'm going to cancel. Yeah.
I'll tell you, I'm not a member of any membership program. So I think that says something as well. Yeah. There are people out there where that's just not something they're interested in. I would actually I'd rather make a decent investment up front or be in a higher level mastermind because I find that with that higher level investment, I'm more invested. I'm actually going to make sure I do the work. I'm going to make sure I get value out of it. So it's just an interesting point to note that I think at certain levels memberships can be great, but I think it depends on what sort of customer you're trying to attract.
Right. Well, you mentioned like with the membership, because it's that lower price point, they're less committed. It becomes a game of getting as many people as possible in right? You might even need hundreds or thousands of members before it really becomes profitable for you. But with a mastermind, it's a higher price point. You're serving less people, but they're much more committed. They're much more serious. They're much more engaged.
And this is what I love. I only have to find 10 to 12 people out of my list, which is a really small conversion of my list, to have a 6-figure revenue stream from my mastermind. So, it's one of the things I love about it. It's not that I need to have hundreds or thousands of people to be making really good money from it.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. So what does somebody get in your mastermind? Let's say they're in the mastermind for a year. What sorts of resources or things are you providing for them over the course of that year?
Sure. And I just want to say that there's lots of different types of masterminds. There's some masterminds that are just online. There's some that have coaching but don't have events. There's some that have events and don't have coaching. Like, there's lots of different ways you can design it. I looked at some masterminds that I'd been in. I looked at the things I loved about them, the things I didn't love about them, and I created what sort of my dream mastermind was. Mm-hmm. So in my mastermind, they get, in the past, they've had content every month, but what I've actually found is that becomes just kind of hard for them to keep up with, and it becomes like another stress for them. So with the mastermind this year, I'm actually giving them access to my new program, Launch Mastery, which is an 8-week program. So they can go through the live round, but there's not that sort of sense of obligation that they have to do the content.
Okay.
So they get access to Launch Mastery. They get 9 hours worth of coaching with me. So we normally spread that out throughout the year. They can use it in half-hour or 1-hour blocks. So it's really, they just use it as they need it during the year. They get 3 live events, up to 3 live events. So they're all run in Australia, the live events. So I run one in Adelaide, one in Melbourne, and one in Palm Cove, which is like a tropical, beautiful part of Queensland. We have a retreat there for 3.5 days in the middle of the year. I do run smaller events in the US because I do have an international audience. So I always have clients signing up from the US. So I will also go to a major US city and run an event for them as well. But I also have a lot of people that fly over for at least one of the events. We have monthly group calls where we talk about a different topic, or they might have requested an area they want me to train on, or we just have general check-ins and that sort of thing. So they're the main things. Group calls. Oh, I have guest contributors as well. So there's always people that come in during the year. They might be sales page specialists, copywriting specialists. They might be people that have had really successful eCourse programs, so it's learning from them. I'm also trying to bring in people that sort of show like the future of what can happen from them. So I've got one client from my mastermind 2 years ago that has had a very successful capture wardrobe challenge, but she's now created a different spin-off business that's doing really, really well as well. So I'm also trying to show people sort of that longer term opportunity that they have through eCourses. So it's a real mix of delivery. And of course, there's also a Facebook forum where they can access me at any time.
Okay. Yeah. So there's quite a bit. There's you, they get access to you, in the coaching with you for 9 hours, you said, per year. They get to meet with each other and with you for those live events. You've got the Facebook group, you've got content itself inside, online that they can go through on their own time. So they've got a lot of different ways for them to learn and to remain accountable and engage with you, which I think is the important component of masterminds for sure.
Yeah, and look, the community is such an important component. I say because I work mainly with women in this program, I say to them at the start of the year, like, this is your sisterhood now. Like, you don't even realize now how important this group is going to be to you during the year. Yeah. And then I've seen them go off after the year is over and partner with each other on projects or catch up, in their local city, or when they travel, visit each other. It's more than just that year. It becomes really, lifetime support networks for them.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. Well, Kathryn, I want to work towards wrapping up here. But thank you, first of all, for taking the time to share your expertise. We have a lot of course creators inside of our community. Our Facebook, for example, has almost 5,000 course creators. But I don't know of too many people who have created a mastermind group for their students. So that's one of the reasons why we wanted to, invite you to come in and speak to us, is so that we can introduce them to that idea. And of course, if they need some help, setting this up, or they want to learn more, I know you have a ton of resources. So where's the best place people can find you, and what kind of resources do you have for people who want to learn this in more detail?
Yeah, so probably kathrynhocking.com is the best place to go. So that's Kathryn Hocking, HOCKING.com. They'll be able to see my blog there, see my free resources, and check out all of my different programs. The other thing I want to mention is in the mastermind, I often work with people to create their own masterminds. So even though it's the Ultimate eCourse Mastermind, a number of my clients already have that, and now they want to create that next level offering. So I work with people in the mastermind to, I guess, create what I've created through the mastermind. And yeah, I've got a range of different products, no matter what stage you're at with your eCourse journey. And we publish a really useful blog every single week. So it's definitely worth checking out.
Perfect. And we'll make sure we link to all of those resources you mentioned below the video and on our blog as well. Last question for you, and then we'll say goodbye. Is there anything that you can say to somebody who's on the fence? They haven't created a course yet. They're thinking of doing it. They want to share their knowledge online, but they just haven't taken the first step. What's something you could say to inspire them or encourage them to get started with teaching online?
Well, I had a 5-year plan to quit my corporate job. I thought it's going to take me 5 years to replace my 6-figure income. I did it in 11 months, and I did that through e-courses, and e-programs and e-products. So I really want to say, just get started. My first launch only had 140 people on my list. I still sold 28 places. You really just need to get started where you are, because if you don't change anything, nothing's going to change. You have to be the one. No one can do it for you. You have to be the one to get out there and, change your life for the better.
Great advice. Thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it.
No worries.
Well, Kathryn, thanks again for your time, and we'll keep in touch.
Thanks so much.
All right. Bye-bye.